Well, here I am up in the Jerilderie area again. I've come up here with Tracy to visit her mum, Mary Kernaghan, to have another bit of a drover's holiday. And here I am at the Thurrowa Reserve, and it's a very beautiful place too. Now, today is just a splendid day, but I tell you what, the weather's been very crook indeed. It's been pretty wet and grizzly, and I won't even try and describe how cold it's been. It's still fresh today, but this is a very cheerful place. And this stock reserve here is about 1,200 acres in size, which blows my little mind because from where I come from, farms are only a couple of hundred acres. And this is a beautiful place, and it's full of red gum. Having come from down south and having a wood heater myself, I'm very envious of these great stockpiles of beautiful big logs of red gum that people have piled up in their woodsheds here. Firewood to dream of. Anyway, I'll show you around.
I eat when I'm hungry, sleep when I'm tired. Sometimes I go to work, I hope to get fired. That's the kind of life I live. No time for worrying, no time for wishing. You do the work, I'll do the fishing. That's the kind of life I live. I got no ties, no family, no strings to keep me home. I leave all my cares behind me. I just hit the road and roam. Call me a waster, no good and such. Call me a wanderer, don't matter much. That's the kind of life I live. Well, I'll keep on going in the same old way. A good bit at night, 3 feeds a day. That's the kind of life I live. When I'm tired, sometimes I go to work, I hope to get fired. That's the kind of life I live. No time for worrying, no time for wishing. You do the work, I'll do the fishing. That's the kind of life I live. Some people spend a lifetime saving every dollar and cent. But that won't happen in my time. Before I even get it, I've got it spent. Well, I tell you, friends, I'm on top of the world, free as a bird, my wings are unfurled. That's the kind of life I live. Well, that's the kind of life I live. That's the kind of life I live.
Well, Richie, this is a great moment, great first moment in a drover's day, is it not?
Yep.
Which is letting the cattle out of the break.
Yeah, they go out and have a feed for a while and then they do the same thing, go back in about 5 o'clock that night.
So you've had a cup of tea, but that's all, isn't it? So now it's back for breakfast.
I reckon.
Now, where are we? What is this place anyway?
Thurrowa.
Thurrowa.
About 40 k's out of Jerilderie on the Narrandera Road. Yep.
And this is a fantastic place. I reckon if I was a cow, I'd love it out here because there's trees, there's lots of shelter and
there's plenty of feed.
There is plenty of feed, but well, yesterday was a pretty filthy day up here, wasn't it? And the trees would be great for the cattle to get under, wouldn't it?
Yeah, keep them dry and put a bit of moisture on the grass. They wouldn't have to go for water and fill them right up in it.
And if they wanted to drink, well, there's a river or a creek. What is it?
Oh, it's the Yanko Creek. Yeah, and it's pretty low at the moment. There's not much water in. That's why we've got to lock them up so they don't swim across.
Ah, because you don't want... The river's the boundary for this reserve, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't want them to box in with the other cattle over the creek. That's Tommy Coughlin's land. Yeah.
Okay, but in a day or so we're actually going to push them across the creek, aren't we?
No, we're not going over that bridge now, going back up the highway.
Oh, are we?
Towards Bunjua and up the Narendra Road. About 10 k's tomorrow we've got to go up.
Oh, righto. And you've got a couple of dogs, what you call pegged out, don't you?
Oh yeah, peg dogs, but they're not always peg dogs. We rotate them.
And tell us about them.
Oh well, one of them's mine, Dusty, a black and tan, and the other one's Nigger. That's Nan's. A pretty intelligent dog, but doesn't know much yet because a pup. And Dusty's just my little mate. And
they've got an important job, or they've had a very important job and still do.
And they've done it properly too.
Well, tell us what their job is.
Well, they've got to stop the cattle from going over the bridge, or if they're not here, they've got to stop them from going over the tape. That's all.
Okay, that's good. Well, they've done their job so far, and we're going to go and check on them now, aren't we?
Yep, check if they got water and see if their shades are up.
What, you nearly got yourself bogged over there in the paddock, did you?
Nah, I was just slippering a bit.
All right, let's go and check these dogs, eh?
Righto.
You've got to edit all this, yeah. Now, what are all these trees? These are all red gums that I've heard about, aren't they?
Yep. They're red gum, plenty of leaves and plenty of shade.
They're a beautiful looking tree. They get pretty big.
Yeah, they get a lot of shelter for the cattle.
Now, down south, everyone gives their right arm and leg for a load of red gum firewood, but it's cheap as chips up here pretty much. Everyone's got mountains of it, hey?
Oh, well, you live up in the mountains where you've only got that barky stuff. And say we're down here in the bush and we've got red gum and box, but not many people cut box because it's too hard on their saws.
What sort of box? Yellow box, red box, grey box?
Yellow box. It's too hard on their saws, wrecks all their bars and all their gear and that.
And are you a bit keen on this droving gig?
Yep, it's all good. It's all fun and games.
It was a bit bleak here the other day, so we bought some shelters up for them, didn't we?
Yeah, yesterday. It was a bit misty all day. It was just a miserable day. Enough to annoy you.
Hey, I think we're going to be in for a good day.
You've won a day too.
But it was a bit hellish getting out of bed this morning too, wasn't it?
Wasn't too bad for me. I slept with 3 jumpers on, 2 shirts and my trackies on.
3 jumpers, eh?
I've got 4 on now with my coat.
I had so many clothes on yesterday afternoon I couldn't fit my coat on over the top, wouldn't go. Geez, they're lovely trees, and there'd be a few kangaroos all around here, wouldn't there?
Yeah, get a few emus too. The creek's low, Webbo.
Ah, low. Can't see, all the windows are fogged up.
It's a bit wet in here, Webbo. See all the shit in the creeks? Can't swim in it.
No?
We swam in it one day and we sunk in the mud.
Did you?
Yeah. Nice sun out there.
I eat when I'm hungry, sleep when I'm tired. Sometimes I go to work, I hope to get fired. That's the kind of life I live. No time for worrying, no time for wishing. You do the work, I'll do the fishing. That's the kind of life I live. I've got no ties, no family, no strings to keep me home. I leave all my cares behind me. I just hit the road and roam. Call me a waster, no good and such. Call me a wanderer, don't matter much. That's the kind of life I live. Well, I'll keep on going in the same old way. A good bit at night, 3 feeds a day. That's the kind of life I live.
as you can see, we're parked pretty close to the road here, and this is the main highway to Queensland, so I'm told. It's Narrandera that way, Jerilderie that way. And both Tracy and myself had a lot of trouble coming to terms with the trucks thundering past all night long, the big interstaters. And our first night here was very short on sleep. Mary has 2 workers with her. She has her grandson Richie, and she has old Bill, who's been with her for many years. And we have a truck and a caravan, and there's plenty of room. I don't know how many dogs we've got. We've probably got about a dozen dogs. And most of them are pretty friendly. I've been checking them out from a distance. I make sure I stay at a fair distance. But there's one, at least two I've been warned off from. One of them's old Bruce, and as Bill put it, he said he loves people and he loves kids. What he actually loves to do is bite them. He was having a bit of a chew on a bit of meat before, and I thought perhaps that's why he's cross. But according to Bill, having a bit of a chew on some meat's got nothing to do with it. He's just cross when it comes to other people. I'll be steering clear of Bruce. Shut up, Bruce. Go on. Oh, hey Mary, how are you going today?
I'm good, thanks, Webbo. What have you been up to?
Oh well, I've been enjoying myself up here, bracing against the cold, but it's a beautiful day today.
Yeah, today's nice. Yes, it's very nice today. We're getting into winter now. Yeah, we've just left autumn, we're into winter, aren't we?
I know, and I can't help but noticing there's a heap of grass around.
Yeah, we've had a good season so far this year and hope it keeps going. The order's been fantastic. Hope we have a good winter and a good spring, and we'll be right.
Because out here on the roads you suffer floods and droughts and...
fires, yes.
Oh, you've been around a few fires too, eh?
Yeah, there's been a few fires. You look down the road and you think how far they're going to get, but they never get to us.
Sometimes might have to run like a hairy goat to escape.
We've thought about that. A few years ago we was at Jerilderie, and the fires came right around Jerilderie, and they thought they were going to lose the lot. They had to evacuate the old out of the hospitals and all, so much smoke and that. And they took them up to the main hall up the street, and yeah, it didn't come right to Jerilderie, but they thought it was coming. Oh, gee, it was a beautiful one. There was smoke everywhere, yeah, and fire. Yeah, so.
Okay, and you've managed to avoid the floods yourself?
No. No, I haven't, because we've been in a few floods, and where we live was flooded right around one year, in the 82s, I think. It was really bad flood. Thought it was, just right around the house like a little island. But on the roads, yeah, we've had a few floods on the roads, different places, But you get over that.
You get over that?
You get over that one.
Now, I was thinking, you have a permit, don't you? And you have to keep moving. You can't stay in one place too long. You have that all sorted out with the board?
Yeah, you've got to have a permit, and you pay for your adjustments on the roads. You've got to pay for your cattle to be on the road with adjustment and all that, yeah. But it's sometimes when you're stuck in the paddock and you haven't got the feed, it's a great thing, this long paddock, because you can feed your cattle until grass grows at home and you can take them home again. And not only that, we've got somebody else's cattle with ours, which makes it a lot better. So it pays our expenses a bit.
Yeah, well, that's a good system, isn't it? Yeah. And now what happens if you have not just an ordinary old crappy day, but like a really bad downpour day and you're supposed to be moving on? Can you just sort of change things around a bit and hole up?
We can hold up if we've got feed, but if we've got no feed, well, we're in trouble. The cattle are hungry, they're cold and they're hungry, you can't hold them. If you hold them up and they see a feed next door, they'll say, oh, well, we'll just open the feeds and break it down and off they go. So you've got to make sure they're full at all times, cattle. And on a real bad day, you've got to try to get them off the highways, because sometimes it's misty, fog, rain and bad, But this time of the year, we haven't even had a frost yet, and we should have been over our frost, and we should have had a few frosts by now, but we haven't. But hoping now we're going into winter that we might have a few frosts. Yeah.
Do you like frosts?
Well, the frost helps the green grass to really strengthen up, so the cattle will do better. But if they're eating this green grass and there's no frost, the sloppy, the grass is real sloppy and watery, and it doesn't just hold the cattle.
Oh, yes, okay.
They eat it, but they don't, find that even with everything mainly. Clover's got to have a bit of frost, because if you don't, and you just get the bare clover, it'll bloat your cattle. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. I just learned something, didn't I? Now, you've been, about how many years do you reckon you've been on the roads? Well, you grew up on the roads, we know that.
Yeah.
And
I started really driving when I was 18, and now I am 71, so I've been driving since I've been 18,
And most of that time by yourself?
Probably had close to 30 years on my own.
Well, you obviously liked the lifestyle, or you would have changed it, wouldn't you?
Probably the only job I've really ever known, apart from when I was younger. I used to work at the shoe factory, but then I left that and got married, and then we saw that my husband was a drover, and I sort of liked that and kept going, so.
And you did say to me the other day that you'd still quite like the idea of just scaling the numbers back a bit and just tool along and retiring on the road.
Yeah, I know. Some days I wish I'd never seen them. The other days I'm all right again. I get those days, Yeah.
So one day it's all good, and the next you're not sure. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure anymore, no. You get out of these frosty cold waters, drizzle and rain and all that. You're in amongst all the rain all your life, It's probably, yeah.
And Bill was saying before he walks about 10k, like we're
10
moving
Ks a day. He loves walking. You put him on a bike, he hates it because he's got to go back, walk back and get the bike. He leaves the bike behind and off he goes walking. He hates riding the bike, Or I'll say, do you want to drive the ute? No, I want to walk. Bill's, what is Bill? Bill's
76 we worked out.
Yeah, Bill's 76, and he said he wouldn't be here if he wasn't walking. He reckons it's healthy to walk. He should have been an old swagman, I think.
Well, he's looking $1 million, I reckon, this time.
It's kept him going. Yeah, it's kept him going, yeah. Bill's a very good help, and I have the grandchildren sometimes, and they come out and they help. Off days at their holidays and all that.
Yeah, and sometimes your son or one of your daughters might look after the cattle while you duck off somewhere.
Yeah, my son John, he's out there a lot. He comes out and gives me a hand a hell of a lot, and I know he's there. And the girls, they're good too. They all come out. Wayne's in his truck job, so he's got too much to do without worrying about his mother. But the other four, they're pretty happy. They don't mind dropping something to come out and help mum if they need to.
That's good, isn't it?
And now you've got to say that, I need to go away today, or I need to go to the doctor, or I need to go and do something. They'll come out and they'll say, well, I will stay here all day. Make sure you're home before dark. Sometimes I tittle off just after dark. I get into trouble, but that's all right.
And here we are sitting around a nice little fire, and there's like a 4-gallon drum there.
That's the water bucket at the moment, heating the water up, for the dishes and whatever,
Or a bit of a bath, because you've got a tin bath.
Yeah, got a tin bath, Got a shower inside, but sometimes we use a shower inside, but very seldom because it costs, it's too much water. You're chasing water all the time. And sometimes out here, when it's a bit bad, you can't get water off a lot of farmers because they haven't got it, especially when it's hot, So you've got to tiddle off the town every time you want to fill your drums up.
Well, at least you're fairly close to Jerilderie at the moment. And will you be getting very far away, or are you going to hang?
No, I'll have to go probably another 100 k's, and then I'll turn around and come back again because we need to sort up a few cattle and do a few jobs. So, yeah.
And have you got a favourite reserve or two anywhere?
No, I've seen them all and know them all, and they're all the same to me. Out this way is pretty easy. If you get up along those highways and the narrow reserves, it gets pretty hard, especially around the holidays. But out here it's pretty good. The holidays is school holidays, Christmas holidays, Easter holidays, they're hard. And there's so many trucks today too, so.
Well, we'll be off the beaten trail soon, won't we? Will we?
No. We'll go off to another lane for a couple of days. We're going to go up the railway line, but then we'll be back on it again. We'll be sort of ducking and diving, helping to keep the truck drivers happy, cattle not on the road. But if, sometimes you'll have a little bit of a pack in with the cattle and the cars. They're very impatient, cars are, So.
The cars are, but the trucks are good usually, aren't they?
The truck drivers are pretty good sometimes. Sometimes I get a few of these younger boys that don't know much yet. They get a bit crabby because they've got a time limit, and if you hold them up, well, they don't like it.
All right, well, you've got got some cattle to check up in back on your home property too, don't you?
Yeah, they're coming into our mob today. They're taking out, I think we've taken out about 50 or 60 or something, and we're going to bring them up into this mob because our paddock's getting a bit down and need a bit of a winter pastures to come on, and then we can take them back. So in another two months' time, I'll be taking all the cows home to calve, and I'll just take the weaners with the other cattle in. I've got cattle from Port Fairy that belong to Nigel Hogan at Port Fairy. He sends them up pretty well all the time. He brings them up here and he sells them, and then he brings some more up and he sells them. You know, it keeps me going with my cattle. So I like that because I've got a bit of money and I've got something to keep my cattle going too. You know.
Yep, that's good. So you got about 700 at the moment here.
About 700, yeah. So.
And a few extra coming today.
Yeah, a few extra today. Just put a few more in and that'll be it.